Agnieszka and Beata. Agnieszka is... Girls, maybe you want to introduce yourself without myself just looking into the papers. Why don't you introduce yourself?
So actually, I'm responsible for learning and development, so I'm internal trainer. However, in this context, I'm also health and well-being program coordinator in Heineken Kraków, and also I'm diversity, equity, and inclusion ambassador, cooperating closely with Beata.
I am a senior communication specialist within Heineken, but as well I am our diversity, equity, inclusion, or how we call it shortly, DEI team leader as well. So I'm working closely with Aga, and I am directing as well this DEI agenda in our company.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. I really love this segment because I think hopefully our objective is to show some good examples, outline some good examples of how to build strategies, how to build synergies, how to bridge the gaps wherever you see them, and how to make sure that we are creating connected and synergic organizations. So again, just to remind to the audience, we're going to focusing on a specific success story and a concrete example from the ground. Ladies are lucky enough to probably to have taken just a few walks from the office space, from their desk, since these are Heineken people. So again, I'm happy to have this talk. Let's start with a question around, is it even possible to have one recipe or combined agenda? I know that you've been doing a lot to employees. We're talking CSR agenda, we're talking well-being agenda, we're talking health and safety agenda. Is it even possible and sensible to combine these three in one?
So the short answer is yes, it is possible. The longer version is it's not that easy. At the beginning, we had like very many different teams that were working mostly on their own agendas. So at the beginning, we had our Brew the Better World team. Brew the Better World is our CSR, so corporate social responsibility.
Correct.
Agenda initiative within Heineken, but not only, they also take care about sustainability and many other things. Then we had the creation of DEI, so diversity, equity, inclusion team within our company. Then the pandemic struck, so we had health and well-being that Agnieszka is creating the agenda for that. All with support from our management, but at the same time, all of us had different goals, different KPIs that we had to deliver as well. So all of that worked pretty well by itself, but we weren't cooperating together. And the thing is that many of the actions have been working by itself, but at the same time, we were doubling some of the actions that we were doing. Some of the actions were not creating the synergy effect. So we saw that, if one team was taking care of one topic, then another team could have taken the same topic from different perspective, but we didn't do that back in those days. So we did try to connect not this strategy at first, but we tried to connect the actions that we started, but it wasn't easy. So we had the meetings, we had all the very engaged people, we had that were doing really great things, but we didn't connect it together, and it was very difficult if we had different goals to deliver even the same actions together. So it changed, and Aga can tell us a little bit more about what worked.
So from inefficiencies or some, maybe not lack of productivity, but limited productivity, you were able to actually to shift. And what made this shift possible, Aga? Give me some concrete factors or enablers.
So for sure, the lessons learned were there. So not communicating or like meetings only wasn't enough. So I think like we have 5 ingredients or 5 factors that creating this synergy, and because of that, it could happen. So first, I think one of the most important is this bottom-up energy, and that people are really doing those actions. So that was first factor and first ingredient needed to make it happen. However, it has to be merged with this global approach and global strategy. So actually, Brew a Better World, health and well-being, and diversity, equity, inclusion are embedded in a company strategy. So this is this global approach, like a second factor. Third factor is also engagement and real support of our local managers. So actually, health and well-being agenda was initiated by head of people function, our HR manager, Eva Szalewska. It is strongly supported, still supported also by Dominika Nawrocka, our change and comms manager. And they, for example, decide to invest money into actions, and they are really supporting them still right now. This is third factor. And I would say that this is like internally, internal focus. But also, I think that also social pressure and that those topics are really important right now for society. So mental health aspects, also diversity, equity, inclusion, especially for current generation that is entering the labor market. So this and everything what has happened as a result of the pandemic. So that was the fourth factor, I would say, this social pressure, external social pressure. And the fifth, last but not least, in my opinion, very important aspect was also help of external experts, actually. So because we wouldn't know how to create those good strategies, those good agendas that really work without help of, for example, Diversity Hub or mental health helpline or mental health center. So without this education, it also wouldn't work, in my opinion.
Yes.
Just to add to the management as well, last year we had our DEI council. So not only, but of course, Eva is also a sponsor for DEI in our company. So this also works great, but at the same time, we've got as well the DEI council with our director and other managers.
Present on the top.
Yes, it is presence of the top.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Bata, I think my question the next one would go to you. Like, can you give us some specific examples? So many activities, such a rich agenda. What have you been able to achieve successfully by now? What are these proud stories that you can share on behalf of the employees? Obviously,
there are so many, really. But
2 minutes.
I think 2 minutes. Okay, I'll try to make it short. So for me, the biggest one is that we've got this organizational change between how we were perceiving first. So I remember the story that Agnieszka was saying that, at the beginning when we had some first workshops, some first webinars, how can I even say depression in a company for a webinar for the company?
Uncomfortable.
And well, this is one thing, but as well, we didn't know what we can and what we can't say. So that was as well this thing. But right now, because we started with inclusive practices, workshops for our people leaders, unconscious bias trainings for people leaders, webinars for all of the organization, all of that created the possibility to have those real conversations within the company, and that resulted in us being able to create as well something that I'm very proud of, and it is a child of Agnieszka as well, but with support of DEI. The library of our stories, how we call it, it is inspired by human library events, but it is created from our employee, by our employee, and for our employees. So we had a lot of sessions, already 11 sessions within the company, where our employees were talking about very difficult topics, about depression, about post-traumatic stress disorder, about miscarriages. We had a person that was talking about stress of being in a firefighter, voluntary firefighting. And of course, we can see that those things are working from many perspectives. One is from the well-being perspective and mental health, but at the same time, it works from diversity, because when you think about the firefighter, you see this huge guy that will come. And during the session, the lady comes up and she's starting, so I'll tell you about it. Yeah, we've got so many different things. And also one of the things that we managed to put together really well, that is also created by employees for the employees, with support from our social fund and from people. So by the way, social fund is connected with our Brew a Better World. So here again, we've got the synergy, where we've got one place where people can see where we've got what kind of employee clubs we've got, where they can get support, where they can organize themselves if they want to have another one. So also just after work, where we can work together.
Okay, so I think I should say congratulations, and I'm happy to be hearing about such positive results. It's almost like, setting an environment with diverse activities, building exposure to different themes, different D&I dimensions, therefore shaping the language and shaping the communication around diversity and inclusion, right? So,
yeah, but also understanding that we have same goals and same tools as you in your article about connecting the dots. So being aware of that is also important here.
Okay. I think we need to stop at this part, ladies. But I'm very happy to have been able to have this conversation with you. Keep inspiring your audience. Keep doing what you're doing, and I'm sure we'll be back for more success stories. Thank you.
We'll be happy to share.